The previous classes we were discussing about the I1 and I2. I1 is a number of rivet in single shear and I2 is a number of rivet in double shear. Look at this diagram. Here you can see that double riveted double cover butt joint. Consider this plate 1. Here two plates is to be joined by a butt joint. Here consider one plate. You can see that above and below that plate two plates are there. Two plates are there. In the first plate, for joining the plate they used two rows of rivet. That's why it's known as double riveted. Then above and below two cover plate is there, double cover. Then this joint is known as double riveted double cover butt joint. Then let us see how can we find out I1 and I2. I1 number of rivet in single shear. I2 mean number of rivet in double shear. See, earlier we are discussing about the number of shears. If we consider this rivet, when applying the load, it may divide in two pieces. That means only one cut is there, one shear occurs here. This is known as single shear. In the case of double shear, is a rivet. Two cut may occurs on the shank of the rivet or body of the rivet. Then we will get after shear, we can see like this. We will get the three parts with two cut. This is known as double shear. Now, by utilizing this concept, we come to this diagram. Here we can see that in this rivet is in the category of double shear. Why means here two cover plate is there. Then as the rivet is under load, there is a possibility of shear may occurs in these two portion. Then this rivet is under double shear. Then what about I1 single shear? Here is no single shear. Here only double shear, no single shear. Then we can take I1 number of rivet in single shear is equal to 0. Since the rivet is in double shear, I1 is 0. Next consider I2 number of rivet in double shear. Then you have to consider I2 mean number of rivet in double shear per pitch length. Previous video we discussed about what you mean pitch length. The pitch length is a gauge line. You can count the gauge line. In one plate here two gauge lines are there. Consider first gauge line. Then rivet to 1, 2, 3 can consider. Then pitch means the distance between center of adjacent rivet. This is the center of first rivet, this is second rivet. The distance between these two center is known as pitch. This is known as longitudinal pitch P. We have to find out number of rivet in double shear inside this pitch. Consider first pitch gauge line. Here you can see that the first rivet, the half portion come inside this pitch length. This half portion. Here first gauge line, second rivet, the half of rivet will come inside the pitch length. Like that, second gauge line. Now we can count. You should consider only one plate only. You don't need to consider two plate. Then this is one pitch length. How many rivet is there? We can count it. This half of rivet. It form as a one rivet. These two form as a one rivet. Then 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. The number of rivet in double shear is equal to 2. Then this join I2 value is equal to 2. Now let us consider double riveted double cover butt joint zigzag. considering these are pitch, this distance between center of adjacent rivet, half here, this half and this half, one rivet, then this is for full rivet, then total I1 is equal to 0, I2 is equal to 2, we will get it. Here you can see that here is no single shear, all the rivet and double shear. Now look at this diagram. Here you can see that in the one plate, you can see 3 rows of rivets is there, 3 rows. That's why it is shown as triple riveted joint. Now look at the cover plate. Here you can see 2 cover plate. Then we can call it as triple riveted double cover butt joint. Now considering the width of the cover plate, here you can see that here it has 2 cover plate but different length. That means unequal length, not equal length. Here you can see that 2 cover plate is there but it has equal length. But here cover plate is there with a different length. That's why it's known as unequal width butt joint. Then the name is triple riveted double cover unequal butt joint. Then we have to find out I1 and I2. I1 is equal to number of rivet in single shear. Consider one plate. First, here you can see that first row of rivet, there is single shear. Here these 2 rivet are in double shear. Then we can consider for single I1 case, we can consider this one. Considering the pitch length. These are pitch length. You can take either these 2 or these 2. I have considered these 2. Then I will mark it down. We have here first row comes under single shear. Single cut happen here. The number of rivet in single shear per pitch length. This length, distance between these 2 center pitch length is I1 is equal to 1. You can see that 1. This half and this half form a 1. Now considering the double shear, see these 2 rows of rivet comes under category of double shear. Here and here double shears happened. Per pitch length, we can count it. This half, tagged as a 1 plus this half and this half, a 1. The number of rivet in double shear is equal to 2. This is a way of considering the I1 and I2. I hope you can understand the value of I1 and I2 by considering the image. Already we discussed the strength of a joint. When you are talking about joints, the strength of a joint, we discuss 3 types of strength. Strength due to tensile strength or tearing strength, and crushing and shearing strength. These are a strength of joint. Therefore, finding the efficiency of a joint, you have to find out the lowest among these 3 strength, divide by the strength of a solid piece or solid plate. You will get efficiency. Efficiency of a riveted joint eta, represent letter eta is equal to the least value of P theta, that means tensile strength, crushing strength, Pc and Ps divided by P. Now considering P means solid plate, the strength of solid plate, then tensile strength, tearing strength, P theta is equal to P minus D T sigma theta. Here P represent pitch of the riveted joint, D means diameter of rivet, diameter of rivet or diameter of rivet hole, then T is a thickness of plate, sigma theta tearing strength or tensile strength of the plate. Here pitch in millimeter, diameter of rivet or rivet hole is millimeter, thickness of plate in millimeter, tensile strength of plate megapascal or Newton per mm square. 1 megapascal is equal to 1 Newton per millimeter square. Shear strength is equal to 4 here you can see that the shear strength formula 1.875 I2 plus I1 by d square into tau divided by 4. Here in a Linkaya data book you can see that instead of 1.875 they used 1.85. According to boiler regulation they are using 1.85. We can take from the Linkaya data book only 2 I2 plus I1 by d square divided by 4 into tau. This is the equation for finding the shear strength. 2 into I2 means number of rivet in double shear, I1 number of rivet in single shear, pi into d square by d means diameter of rivet hole into tau means shear stress. Now considering the crushing strength. This is Ps, P suffix x. Now we can consider crushing strength. Pc is equal to I2 into T plus I1 into I2 into T into D into sigma C. I2 mean number of rivet in double shear, T thickness of plate plus I1 number of rivet in single shear and T2 is a cover plate thickness and D is the diameter rivet hole, sigma C crushing stress. The most of the problem they will give tensile stress, crushing and shear stress. Now strength of solid plate equation Pt sigma theta. Pt, P means pitch, T means thickness of plate, base plate, the plate to be joined, thickness of plate to be joined, sigma theta tensile stress. Now efficiency eta is equal to the least of P theta, Ps and Pc divided by P. By using this equation, you have to find out first shear strength, after that first tearing strength, next shear strength, crushing strength. Find out the least value among these three strength, divide by the strength of solid plate, you will get the efficiency of the riveted joint. Let us consider the steps or design steps of a riveted joint. First one, if they given the question, from there we have to identify type of joint and draw the sketch this information you will get it from the question. Also you will come to know whether it is lap joint, double riveted, single riveted, butt joint. Design data book, if you consider design a link data book, page number 13.16, table number 13.14. They are already given the types of joint, type A, B, C, D. Type A, single riveted lap joint. Type B, single riveted the type A, single riveted lap joint. Type B, double riveted lap joint, already given. Then empirical formula for finding the pitch, transverse pitch, margin, everything is given in the table 13.4. you will get it. Once you come to the joint name from the question, you can easily find out the type of joint by seeing that figure sketch is already given in the data book. It will be easy for you to design the riveted joint. Second step, you have to find the diameter of rivet and diameter of rivet hole. Diameter of rivet, that is approximately D. That equation already available in the data book. You can see that from the data book, D is equal to 6 root 3 to 6 root 2 6 root T to 6.3 root T. You can see that one data book.